This is part three of part seven of the lecture series on election law. At this point, I invite your attention on the matter of slots for offices that are voted for during elections. Of course, we are very familiar with national positions, but what commonly evades the law student are the positions in the local government. No? Not much of a problem for offices with singular posts like governors, vice governors, mayors, vice mayors. But I draw your attention on the matter of the slots for city councilors, board members, and the likes. This is pure memory work. I hope for law students you get to be familiar with them. We go we proceed with the matter of the ballots and ballot appreciation. The form of the ballot clearly also affects how our roles as lawyers are changed during elections. First, let us try to understand what these ballots are. In the Philippines, we have two types of ballots which may be reverted to during elections. First one, we have the automated elections, which uses this template for a ballot. According to RA 9369, an official ballot during automated elections refers to the paper ballot, whether printed or generated by technology, that faithfully captures or represents votes cast by a voter recorded or to be recorded in electronic form. So if you notice the ballots, they already have the names of the candidates written or printed in a particular order in the ballot. No, if you have seen a ballot, assuming that all of you are voters, you would see that it's I think longer a bit as compared to the legal size bond paper. If you notice, there are ovals and indicators, markings at some portions of the ballot, which are crucial for the acceptance of the ballot in when they are fed in the voting machines. It's important to know here that because of this template of ballots in automated voting, some rules on interpretation no longer applies because what is to interpret when there is no more ambiguity almost possible in the casting of votes. You compare this with the ballots used during manual manual voting. In manual voting, you have this ballot which, according to BP 881, which contains the names of all offices to be voted for in the election, allowing opposite the name of each office sufficient space or spaces with horizontal lines where the voter may write the name or names of the individual candidates voted for by him. As compared to the electronic voting, here the voter really fills up the names of the candidates. Ito yung nangangailangan talaga ng sample ballot because some of the voters need the samples of the or the list of the names that the candidates that they vote for because nothing about the candidates are written on the ballot, only blank spaces. Nagkakaroon ng problema because some of the voters may have a hard time filling up the ballots, or if they could fill up the ballots, they may require the entries may require construction because of the penmanship or the way the names are written. Perhaps because the candidates' names may be written bearing only the surname or the first name, or simple matters like erasures, no? which could affect the ballot, or maybe writing two candidates in one space. So ang daming possible issues in this form of a ballot that would necessitate the the skills of construction required of watchers or lawyers when they assist the in the electoral process. Not to mention the crucial role of the BEI, because ang BEI naman talaga ang nagtatali. So if you see it here, because the names are written during the counting, the BEI will really have to tally each vote as they are read in public, with the poll watcher and the other persons authorized to be there present. No, here in automated voting, what is being done is simply the feeding of the ballot in the vote counting machine, and following that you have the machine generated count, which immediately becomes available and transmitted for canvassing. Unlike here, in manual voting, they just need to tally all the votes that are cast. In manual, the manual counting happens, considering that uh, uh, the votes cannot be automatically counted. No? So, doon sa eskwelahan, sa blackboard, sinusulat yung tally per vote. So, binabasa yan out in the open. Okay? So, again, because of certain circumstances, hindi nababasa ang mga sulat. Kung nababasa man, may mga difficulty on how the vote should be counted kasi may mga uniqueness sometimes, and the way the voters write their chosen candidates. So, these are the rules in manual counting, but much of this also are applicable in automated counting. No, in manual counting, as soon as the voting is finished, the Board of Election Inspectors shall publicly count in the polling place the votes cast and ascertain the results. So, this means that immediately pagkatapos ng botohan, they tally immediately, and then they apply the rules of interpretation of the ballots. And of course, once they have ascertained the votes, they tally it and give the final count for the returns. No, um, they cannot they cannot adjourn the process until everything has been finished. Okay. Now in electronic voting, mas mabilis kasi yun nga, electronic ang pagbilang, may optical sensors for to indicate the certain specific ovals in the ballot, ano. So, what happens here is minsan doon sa um, counting, umaabot ng hanggang wee hours in the morning minsan kung maraming botante. Unlike in automated voting that the results immediately may come even before midnight. No? But certain reasons, because of technical issues, sometimes umaabot ng madaling araw, from your experience as paralegals, no, during elections. No? So in reading of the official ballot, those who are allowed to be there must be allowed to view the names of the candidates as they are being read by the BEI. This is for manual voting. No? But for automated voting, automated counting, um, the machines, the ballots are fed to the machines and counted, no, as they come, no, as they come. So that's the peculiarity, kasi what they witness is the printing of the returns. So there are rules relating to the matter of excess ballots, marked ballots, and spoiled ballots. So excess ballots, actually, yung baka sumobra yung number of votes cast as compared to the number of expected voters. So the excess ballots, lalo na kung hindi tumutugma doon sa perforated half or portion of the votes, the excess ballots are taken out in the same number and randomly, given the computation kung ilan talaga yung excess kinukunan, okay, para tumugma ang count ng actual votes doon sa uh, votes that should be cast during that day. Marked ballots are in manual voting are prohibited, of course, because they may indicate the names or they may indicate who voted for what or who voted for whom. And ito na yung ginagamit sa bayaran. The same with spoiled ballots, they are also placed in the compartment which are provided for spoiled ballots. So the general rule for the counting of votes, ano, uh, here, that each ballot is presumed valid. Why is it presumed valid? Because presumed valid sila because the intent of the voters must be ascertained. The intent of the voters are given due regard. That's why in the interpretation of votes, when there is ambiguity, the presumption must be in favor of the validity of the ballot. So in fact, the intent rule here matters because even in the interpretation of the ballot, the voter's intent, which is really to vote for their candidates, must be considered in the interpretation or construction of ballots. In case there are issues in the counting of ballots, they are decided by the majority vote of the BEI. No, no watcher or candidate are allowed to participate in the counting except to observe, perhaps, when they are allowed to be there. When they find any irregularity in the counting, they may file a protest, which are recorded in the minutes. So these are the commonly applied rules. You have the intent rule, the neighborhood rule, idem sonans rule, equity of the incumbent rule, superiority of surname rule. Yung intent rule na sabi ko kanina, ito yung rule which provides that the Board of Election Inspectors must, in the interpretation of the votes, consider the intent of the voters, which is to cast their votes. That's why there is the presumption of validity of the votes. So the intent must be ascertained in the interpretation of votes, lalo na kung may ambiguity sa pagkasulat, no? Ano kaya yung, sino kaya yung gusto nila talagang iboto? Neighborhood rule, well, maraming klaseng application ng neighborhood rule, but um, in an example here, when the name of a candidate appears in a space of the ballot for an office which he is not a candidate, and in another space for which he is a candidate, it shall be counted in favor of the office for which she is a candidate. Another interpretation is if the name is written alongside a space um, where he intends to run for office, then that is counted for that office. No, these are for manual voting. Ha, idem sonam's rule. Name or surname incorrectly written, but when read sounds similar to the names or surname of a candidate when correctly written shall be counted in his favor. Wrong spelling but the pronunciation is the same, counted yan. Equity of the incumbent, always maraming application ng equity of an incumbent. One is, when a vote cast using only a surname or a first name that is shared by two or more candidates, the vote is counted in favor of the candidate who is currently holding office. That's one example. So always in favor of the incumbent. Superiority of the surname. Well, if a name is written, a first name is written, which is also the surname of another, the one bearing the surname is to whom the vote shall be counted for. There are many other rules in voting, but these are the most common. But for this part, I invite you to read the case of Sevilla versus Comelec and Gupit, where the Supreme Court distinguished the neighborhood rule and the intent rule. But in this case, when it is applied, it did not, both rules did not apply because there was really a name written on the space by the voter, though there is the name of the candidate written almost alongside it. But because there is a name, though the name does not correspond to the name of any candidate, nothing should be credited to the candidate as far as that ballot is concerned. There is also that same case where the Supreme Court um, uh, applied the idem sonans rule in the ballot written was Nani G. Nani G sounds similar to Rani. That Nani seemed to sound the same with Rani, with the family name of Gupit, and it was written in the space for Punong Barangay. It was counted in his favor. Nani G is like writing down, hearing it as a Rani G, Rani Gubat. Incidentally, there is another candidate pala named Nani Gubat, but for another position, for a barangay kagawad. But the Supreme Court ruled that still it should be for Nani G, the Rani Gupit, because the name was written in the slot for punong barangay and not for barangay kagawad, no? So hindi din nag-a-apply yung neighborhood rule kasi medyo malayo, no? Other rules, you have to consider this. You read BP 881, Section 211 for the peculiarities, no? Um, for my students, we will take them up in in class, or but these rules are very interesting also to know during manual voting. Okay. So for automated voting, for automated voting, um, the automation of elections no longer require the interpretation of ambiguities, because there is no ambiguity in the first place possible, because everything is provided for. The VCMs use optical mark recognitions to determine who really did the voter elect for. No? May indicators kasi na. But there are certain parameters that are commonly applied during elections. One is the shading threshold and voter intent. Every election, depende sa technology perhaps, um, like earlier in the automated elections, kailangan 50% at least ang nakashade. Subsequently, naging 25%. Um, so a certain threshold in the voting, depending on the COMELEC rules, will apply as to the shading. This has been applied in the case of Marcos versus Robredo, where there was a dispute on how the vote should be appreciated, if it's 50% shading or 25% shading. You read this very interesting case. Of course, Robredo won. Um, Over voting and under voting, well, these are rules provided in the peculiar rules during elections. But from experience, mostly when you overvote, your votes will not be counted. But you undervote, those votes are counted. So pag sumobra ang boto mo, walang nabibilang para sa position na iyon. Pero pag undervoted ka, like undervoting ka, siguro anim sa 12 senators, maybe the 12 will the 6 will be counted, no? Marks and marked ballots are also subject to the rules which the COMELEC will provide on the particular elections, no? This definitely will affect the counting if there are issues in the shading of the ballot. Sumobra sa shading, lumagpas, pumunta sa kabilang oval, or nasira yung timing marks. Ano yung timing marks? Ano yung oval? Timing marks, yun ang nasa side nung balota, ang oval, yun yung sinishade. So kapag may overshading or nasira yung timing marks, nasulatan or na-fall, na tupi, this may be excluded from the counting. No? Hindi tatanggapin ng machine, possible yan. The VVPAT, the Voter Verifiable Paper Audit Trail, is the mechanism where the COMELEC or the rules allow for the voter to really ascertain that his vote has been cast. It's a way to double check the that the votes have been truly counted by the VCM. No? In this case of movement versus COMELEC, Supreme Court said that actually COMELEC did not want to implement the VVPAT during that election. Sabi ng Supreme Court, the minimum functional capabilities enumerated by law, including the VVPAT, are mandatory. These functions constitute the most basic safeguards to ensure transparency, credibility, fairness, and accuracy of the upcoming elections. Stray votes matter, but in the automated elections, it's almost impossible para magkaroon ng stray votes, but there are instances na may stray votes. Paano nangyayari yon? For example, a nuisance, like in this case, a candidate run for office, but After the printing of the ballots, he was declared stray, sorry, a nuisance. So any vote cast for him was not counted in favor of the remaining candidates. Kasi the old rule, I think, is kapag may nuisance candidate, kapag binoto siya, kapag ang kalaban lang nag-iisa, counted in his favor. But here, the Supreme Court said na because the ballot contained the names, when they voted for that person, though nuisance, they really did not intend to vote for the other guy. So, um, for my students, these are discussed thoroughly in class. This is a mere review material. I hope this helped you in your endeavor. Thank you.